Assalamu alaikum students. I will prepare 5 lectures for the 5 steps of risk assessments, and every lecture I will explain every steps. So the first steps to prepare risk assessments: identify the hazards. But before that, what is risk assessment? Risk assessment is a formal process in which we identify the hazards and identify the people and evaluate the risk and control that risk. Okay, in a simple words. So in today's lecture I will explain the first steps of the risk assessments. So step 1, identify the hazards. Step 2, identify the people who might be harmed and how. Step 3, evaluate the risk and decide on precautions. Step 4, record the significant findings and implement. And then 6.5, review and update as necessary. So these 5 steps I will explain one by one in 5 lectures. Okay, so the first steps: identify the hazards. So in today's lecture I will explain the identification of the hazard, that how we will identify hazards for our risk assessment. So basically we are preparing the risk assessment for the workplace. So the first steps in that risk assessment: identify the hazards. So in one side the safety hazards, and the other side is the health hazards. Safety capable of causing physical injury. Safety hazards capable of causing physical injuries. So these are working at height, falling objects, moving vehicles, machinery, electricity, chemicals, low oxygen concentration, deep water, fires, explosion in animals. These are the safety hazards. And the other one is the health hazards, capable of causing occupational disease or ill health, that is physical, chemical, biological, ergonomic, and psychological. How we will identify the hazards for our risk assessments? So we have 4 types. Task analysis analyzes job components before the job starts. And task analysis, when we will start the work, before starting the work we will analyze the whole job. We will bring the jobs in components, and in every components or every parts of the job we will identify the hazards, and we will give safe working methods to that. So we'll explain this in this lecture later. Task analysis. The other methods: hazard identification is legislation, standards, guidance documents. We can identify the hazards from the standards and guidance documents. Manufacturer informations, we can find out the hazards from manufacturer's informations, that is operating handbooks, chemical safety data sheets. And incident data, accident, near miss, ill health, we can find out the hazards from the accidents, near misses, or ill health data. We can find out the root causes and the immediate causes, and from that we can find out the hazards. Task analysis. What is task analysis? Our SREDIM, SREDIM, SREDIM. We will use this. The S, what we will do in this task analysis is select the task. We will select the task. Any task you select and record the stages of this task. So bring that task in different stages or different components. Then E, evaluate risk associated with each stage. Each stage, evaluate the risk. Okay. So when you will evaluate the risk, when you identify the risk, so that time you developed safe working methods for that risk, and I implement safe working method and am monitored to ensure the effectiveness of the safe working methods. So this is a task analysis. First we will select the task, then we will record the components or parts or stages of the task, then evaluate risk from each task or from each steps or from each stage. Then we will develop the safe working methods, and we need to implement that safe working methods, and we need to monitor that safe working method is workable, and we need to analyze that the safe working methods is sufficient to reduce the risk or not. So in step 1, what we will do, we will identify the hazards for the risk assessments. So we explain the 4 methods: task analysis, legislation, incident accident data, and manufacturer informations. And task analysis, what we will do, first we will select the task, then we will select the parts or stages or components of that task, and evaluate the risk from each task, and then we will develop the safe working methods to control the risk, and we will monitor that our safe working method is effective or not. So in the next lecture we will study steps number 2. Okay, so inshallah we will meet in the next lecture for step number 2. Okay.